Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. So today we'll see one more session in machine learning, that is data acquisition. So that is the first stage of machine learning, so which is data collection. So the process of collecting the data in order to train the machine learning model is called as a data acquisition. So we'll go in deep what exactly mean the data acquisition. So let's start the session. Data acquisition, right? So it is a process of collecting data to train the machine learning model. So without the data, the machine can't understand anything. So machine will be understanding only based upon the examples, that means the data which we are training. So ML model learns from data, that means examples. So sometimes we will be calling them as an examples, and sometimes we can call it as an data. So ML model will learn from the examples. So better quality of data gives better predictions. So that means here the output of any machine learning model is a prediction, right? So that prediction will be based upon the trained data. So how far you are giving the quality data, that quality predictions will be coming as an output. Okay, if the quality of data is very poor, automatically the predictions will also be very poor. So directly proportional, we can say that it is a directly proportional, and this data can be collected from different sources. From different sources we are going to collect different uh, data items. Okay, so let us see from where we are going to collect this particular data. So sources for collection of data. So first one is a websites. So from the websites we can collect a few information. So like user clicks, so which items the user was able to click. Purchase history, so what kind of items a user was purchasing. Similarly, search history, so which kind of items or products the user was searching, right? So all these things will be collected from the websites, and also applications, websites and apps. You can also include the apps. So from these websites, these kind of data can be collected. Next, camera. From the camera, so from the camera we'll be collecting only two things, that is images and videos. So we can collect the images and videos. Next, databases. So existing databases, you can say existing databases. So from the existing databases we can collect different kinds of information. For example, if it is an any company, so we can collect the employee information. Employee records can be collected from that. If it is an hospital, patient records will be collected. If it is a bank, transactions transaction records will be collected. So depends upon the company or depends upon the use, we can collect different kinds of records. So the database is also very, very important. So existing databases. And the next one, sensors. So there will be a lot of sensors. For example, if you go with the smartwatch, so there will be a sensors which give you the blood pressures or heart rate, etc., etc. So from that type of sensors we can collect temperatures, right? And similarly, health. health related. So health related means this is the best example. So if you are using the smart watches, so steps, so you can collect the steps, how many steps, and heart rate can be collected. Similarly, uh, blood pressure can be collected. Okay, so all these things can be collected by using the sensors. Okay, next, social media. So even from the social media also we can collect a few informations like comments. You can collect the comments and you can predict the user behavior, and likes, sharing. So sharing means how many members the video or any post is shared. Similarly, photos, hashtags. So we'll be using a different hashtags. Okay, so all these kind of information can be collected from the social media, right? And surveys and forms. So usually these kind of things can be collected from anywhere. If you go to the restaurant, they'll be asking for a feedback. So the information can be collected from the feedbacks. Similarly, feedback forms. So questionnaires. From the questionnaires, we can collect. Uh, yeah, so these kind of things, online forms. So if you are registering for any websites, so you will be giving some kind of data, right? So that data will also be can collected. So these are the different sources we can collect the data. Okay, and data can be different types, so which we have discussed in our previous session, the types of data. So I'll post the complete playlist of machine learning in the description. You go through that, because so types of data can also be there. So structured data, semi-structured data, unstructured data, labeled data, unlabeled data. So the data will be anything. Okay, so these are the various sources from where we can collect the data. Now, what is the process? What's the process of this data acquisition? So obviously we said that it is a collection of data, right? So what are the steps involved in that? So step one, identify the problem. First we need to identify the problem. So because if you are not able to identify the problem, you are unable to get the data. Okay, based upon the problem we need to collect the data. For example, if it is a house prices predictions, we need to collect data related to that particular thing, right? That means the number of rooms, locations, house area, cost, everything like that. If you are using with if you are if the problem is related to the transactions, you need to collect all the transaction history, transaction records, right? So first we need to identify the problem. So after identifying the problem, then you need to collect the relevant data. Collect the relevant data. So based upon the problem we need to collect the data, right? From different sources. So this is important. From different sources, just we have seen from where you can get it, right? So automatically there are a few websites which provides a different data sets. So actually this complete data is called as a data set, where the complete data is stored. Okay, it's called a data sets, and this will be available in online. Okay, many websites will be providing a different data sets, okay, related to different problems. So different sources, we need to collect the data. Next, verify the data. That's the most important. Verify the data. So verify data means we need to remove the missing values or incorrect data. Okay, so all the wrong data, everything will be removed. Okay, you need to verify the data. And finally, store the data. So we need to store the data either in database, and usually nowadays we are calling it as a data set, CSV files, comma separated files, or even a cloud. You can store the complete data in a cloud storage also. right? So these are the steps involved in the data acquisition. So first we need to identify the problem. Based upon the problem, we need to collect the relevant data from the different sources, and then we have to verify the data. So avoiding the missing data and duplicates, missing data or duplicates. So these kind of things we will be verifying, and then we need to store data in terms of data sets or CSV files or cloud storage, etc., etc. Right? Now let us see the applications. So where we are going to use, what is an example for this data acquisition. So right, so examples, real life examples, real life applications, we can call them as an applications. So where we are using these things. So just now we have seen, if it is a e-commerce, if it is a e-commerce problem, we need to collect the purchase history and customer records. Okay, we need to get the customer records. If it is a bank related problem, you need to collect transaction records in order to identify the fraud or etc. And if it is a hospital, you need to collect patient records in order to identify the diseases, etc. Okay, so these are a few applications where we are using this data acquisition. So related, so if it is a e-commerce, so you need to recommend some products, and if it is a social media or a YouTube, you will be getting recommended videos. So there you need to collect all the customer records, how many clicks or how much time the user spending on YouTube, etc. And the bank, if the problem is related to the bank, automatically we need to collect all the transaction history. Okay, which transactions are a genuine and which transactions are a fraud. So that it will be identifying the fraud transactions. Similarly, hospital, so if you are working for a machine learning model which helps for the hospital, so it collects the patient records, all the patient records, in order to identify the diseases, etc. Right? So this is the complete information about data acquisition, right? So hope you understood, and if you are having any doubts regarding this one, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section. Definitely I will try to clarify all your doubts. If you really enjoyed the session, like my session, share my session with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.